Welcome to the Developing Africa Group Research and Development Ecosystem Overview. The ecosystem is a mobile-based, blockchain-powered digital system with the aim of bringing research and development projects in Africa into the digital age. There is no doubt in our mind that Africa's inability to innovate is one of the reasons why it is still struggling to develop its economies, and we believe technology is the only way Africa can overcome its challenges to use research and development as a means of developing Africa. In this video, we will discuss three key topics. The first video will showcase why Africa needs a digital research and development ecosystem and the current problems it can address. The second video will describe what the ecosystem will look like, providing you details about its components and its different stages. The third video will provide you with our pilot project, the Nigeria-Colombia Healthcare Research and Development Project. Let's get to it. What is the difference between a developed country and an underdeveloped country? When you look closely, you will find that a country is likely to develop faster if it has most of its issues and challenges within the list of subjects its research and development sector focuses on. On the other hand, a country is more likely to remain underdeveloped if its issues and challenges are not related to its research and development sector. Let's start with famine. Nowhere in Africa today is anyone researching or developing solutions to address famine or barren lands. It is a problem many African countries are facing. That is why the problem seems to be getting worse and not better, because there are no new ideas being innovated or developed to deal with the problem. Now let's look at roads. No one is researching or developing solutions around bad roads in Africa. Since the colonial era, African roads have had no African innovation or invention, and this explains why there are so many bad roads across Africa, and Africa continues to hold the record for the most dangerous roads. Turning to the economy, no one is researching how and why Africa can convert its raw materials into end products, and that is why in general Africa does not know how to convert its raw materials into end products. In order for R&D to impact an economy, it needs to be properly funded, it needs to be able to be launched into the society in order for its impact to be felt, and it needs to be able to create trade and employment for the local community. By way of comparison, let's have a look at the UK market and the effect of R&D on its economy. The UK spends to £5 billion on R&D. The UK is home to over 500 nationally and internationally significant research and innovation infrastructures, providing the UK with a breadth of expertise across sectors. Almost all of these infrastructures work with international partners and have an international user base, emphasizing their important role in attracting leading researchers and innovators from across the world. The Developing Africa Research and Development Solution is a digital ecosystem that is designed to take in research and development projects from various sources like the governments of Africa, educational institutions across Africa, African intellects from various professions in Africa, and talented individuals in Africa with intellectual property or research and development interests. These will all be centralized into a cloud-based, blockchain-enabled digital wallet. This digital ecosystem will provide an unprecedented access to African research and development projects and ensure they are brought up to international standards and can be verified and attract international investment. The digital wallet contains, first and foremost, technology. This will enable all R&Ds from Africa to be technology-enabled. The second stage is the protection of the project with intellectual property right. This means the work is protected by law with rights given to the parties associated in the project. The third element is international testing and laboratory equipments. This will overcome the lack of advanced testing and laboratory services in Africa, and as the project is digital, an international range of sophisticated testing and laboratory equipments will be open to African development projects for the first time ever. Lastly, we will be providing access to an international panel of experts, and their role will be to validate the claims within the project. Ultimately, this will mean we have a complete package for African research projects that are protected by law, calibrated and tested to an international standard, as well as contain expert opinion validating the terms of the project. This will enable us to create a prototype of the project that can be presented to international investors with a complete package developed to an international standard that investors can verify and use to base their investment decision. Finally, this will be a revolution in Africa's research and development space, where all the issues and challenges we mentioned about Africa will be addressed, and the much-needed investment into African projects can all be within the same ecosystem. meaning multiple projects can be launched simultaneously. The Nigeria-Colombia healthcare pilot is based on the provision of healthcare services between the two countries. Healthcare delivery in Nigeria has experienced progressive deterioration as a result of weakened political will on the part of successive governments to effectively solve a number of problems that have long existed in the sector over many years. Let's compare the situation with Colombia. When looking at the right to health with respect to children, Colombia achieves 96.3% of what is expected based on its current income. On reproductive health, because the nation is fulfilling 93.9% of what the nation is expected to achieve. The healthcare system we are looking to put in place looks like this. Almost every element of this diagram is currently operational in Colombia. The technology zone is the foundation of the project, and it touches all the zones for the medical sector. It touches the patient zone because it allows more primary healthcare engagement for the patients using telemedicine and digital medical devices. It touches nurse and doctor zone because they will have more technology to engage the patients as well as can get better data about the patients. As this is the grassroots of healthcare, it will allow us to finally start getting healthcare data directly from the source for the analytic and reporting system. Finally, this pilot with technology from Colombia is going to create an ecosystem that can be applied to many African countries and deliver services across Africa, creating a new life for Colombian healthcare technology.